Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio. Today, we're going to be finishing up our smelting system for iron and aluminum. Um, some of this video is going to be sped up a little bit faster than twice the speed because it's kind of boring, and it's also a fairly long video. I ended up recording about 2 hours for this video because I wanted to have some extra content. I didn't want to have the slow content be, see right there's a ×6, that little section there of crafting. But anyway, I didn't want it to just be real slow and not really watchable. So I wanted to go ahead and change it up a little bit. Right now we're just repairing the base. We're also researching fast inserters because we will probably we will definitely get good use out of that later on. But we're just repairing the base, putting more ammo in all of our gun turrets, and there's a wave of enemies coming at us now. So we're just about to head down here where they usually come from to prepare for that and fend them off. So we're just going to be dealing with this wave of biters here real quick. And we're actually going to get some more ammo. Well, not really. We're not going to get more ammo. Sorry, they were attacking this side, so we're going to help this turret out. And you can see that the mining depot was destroyed, so we'll have to rebuild that. But first, we need to deal with the rest of these biters and the rest of these spitters. For some reason, they're focusing on the lead over here. As I've been playing this world more, they tend to focus over there on the iron, but for some reason they decided they wanted to go focus on the lead at this particular wave. I wonder if it's because I built up more industry around the iron the next little bit of me playing this world here, but that is where most of our pollution is if you look at the map there, and they tend to focus their attacks on pollution areas there. So there we are, where there's some more coming at us. We're now out of our red ammo. We're just using regular old ammo right now, and unfortunately we cannot get grenades or anything yet, so taking out bases and stuff that happen to spawn anywhere close to us, or are anywhere close to us, we actually have to use just ammunition and our machine gun. So it's kind of tough to do that. But we actually get 2 laser turrets from this little abandoned base here, so those are going to be useful. I'm going to end up putting one next to the iron mining system there, and then I'm also going to end up putting one at our future coal mine that we're going to build in this video as well, up at the top vein of coal. If you remember the last few videos, you'll have seen it on the map. But we're going to set up a vein up there to do things. So I want you to notice this while we're here. You see there's no bases in sight at the moment except way down at the bottom. So just keep that in mind, because later on it'll be important. At the very end of the video, that'll be important. So if you make it to the end of the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and rebuild this area here that got destroyed and damaged. Rebuild that mining depot, and unfortunately we're out of iron, so we're going to walk over, get some more iron here to rebuild it here in a second. We're also going to we're going to put this lead back to good use and make some more ammunition, because now that we're out of our red ammunition, all of our ammunition comes from that little factory there, or handcrafted through lead plates. First, we're going to clear a pathway here between the lead and the iron so we can easily get to the ammunition area. And we actually were attacked by a spitter there, so we killed the spitter. And we're now going through back to the iron to get some more iron plates to continue to build things here. Repairing our gun turret that was damaged there. We have a lot of stuff in our inventory, and that's actually going to become a problem during this video pretty soon. But first we're going to go and rebuild this mining depot and the 2 mining drones to get the lead back up, and actually we're going to readjust these belts and things here in the lead to allow for better processing, because once we run out of lead plates in that chest, it'll start pulling copper ore out, and then the copper ore will clog up the belt. But before we can do that, we get attacked, and some of our belts over here get destroyed. by some biters. So we end up, not our belts, but the one of our mining drones gets destroyed by some biters. So we have to go back over there and take care of that really quickly. So I'm going to hydrate here. It's pretty hot in this room. So our house, just while I'm rebuilding this, you'll see what I'm doing. I'm splitting off the copper, putting it back in that furnace for copper smelting, and then re-adding the factory there. But anyway, our house was built in 1945, I think, and the air conditioner that we have right now was installed in 1992. So this summer, because it's middle of August here, which is technically past the summer, but it's still summer season. It's past the school summer, but it's still the season of summer. And it's been getting up to the mid 90s, low 100s some days where we live at. So it's pretty hot, and our air conditioner can't quite keep up. We just have a shingled roof, and I guarantee you the insulation in the attic is pretty old. It's had 2 sets of insulation put in it because the first one deteriorated so bad, and the second set of insulation is pretty old. Now this is the house that I bought with my wife, and my father-in-law lives here as well. So it's just a house that was built and had been being rented, and we bought it, I think it was a year ago now. We've been here over a year and a half almost. We bought it in April, the end of April 2022. So yeah, so we've been here a little while, but it wasn't quite this hot last summer, and we didn't have to deal with all this last summer. But our air conditioner is just not able to keep up anymore, and we're working on getting that fixed. But until then, I'm pretty well burning up in here because we have pretty much all of the rooms in the house have one air vent, and that it doesn't do the best. So yeah, the air vent in this room is right behind my computer, so that my computer can use it as intake, the cold air, and then exhaust the hot air out the top through the radiator. And unfortunately, that heats up the room even more. But while I'm recording, I can't use my fan because it'll be caught on the microphone and just ruin the sound quality. So just for while I'm doing my voiceovers, I can't do this. But this video is taking a lot of work, so I really hope you enjoy this. Like I said, I recorded it for 2 hours, and I spent about an hour rewatching the footage and cutting it up, speeding up different parts of the footage. You can see me struggling at math right here because I had my math wrong in the last video on how many mining drills I needed. So the mining drills, they actually mine 1 ore every half of a second. So instead of multiplying the amount that I need times 2, I should be dividing it by 2. And so with 32 ore, and I go back in to try and show you somehow, but it doesn't work. So with 32 ore a second that we need, we only need 16 drills. Right now, we're not future-proofing this. We're just setting up enough ore to for these furnaces so that we can make 1 inserter a second, 1 transporter belt a second, and 1 electric mining drill per second at all times. So we're not going to be bogged down. That's what we want, because that'll allow us to we can build everything else by hand, and that will allow us to definitely get really started on this factory, getting it up and running, especially the drills and the inserters. So the next thing to do would be to automate some kind of furnace production, but I want to wait until we have steel furnaces for that. So yeah, so I sped this up here because you can really see that I'm building this wrong. Instead of splitting it evenly, I'm actually giving priority to the first belt there, and lower priority to each set of belts afterward. So I have to rebuild this, but I'm speeding this up just because it's a little boring. I'm just sitting here crafting and building this smelting rig, just placing belts and inserters, and doing it wrong. So yeah, that's going to be a theme throughout this video, is when I'm building the smelting areas, I'm going to be speeding up the video to 6 times the normal speed, so that way it's not quite as slow. Of course, usually it's already sped up to 2 times, but yeah, so it's sped up to 6 times here. So now we're walking up to the aluminum area, and it's going to slow back down the footage here to 2 times for me. the preview is actually lagging a good bit right here. I'm unsure why, but I'm back down to the mining, the iron smelting, and continuing to work on that. So, um, yeah, I don't know why this preview is lagging so much for me. You see, we've got something that was just destroyed. I guess I noticed it. I don't know. Man, this thing's lagging so bad. I'm going to just quickly stop and play it again to fix that. There we go. Back to crafting some things here. And I shouldn't be that far off of my actual recording time. Worst case, I can cut a little bit of the intro blank time out here. But yeah, so we're just continuing to build this furnace array here, placing all the inserters, all the power poles, all of the belts, everything down, and I've still got it incorrectly split at the beginning. And the solution I come up with is not the most elegant one, and there's plenty of other ways to do it. But I'm not a Factorio veteran, although I've had it since it came out. I'm not a Factorio veteran, as in played it all the years and got a lot of hours and know everything about it. I have, I think, maybe 200 hours on this game. I really love the game, but I just had a long time of my life where I kind of cut out video games for a while and focused a lot on my schoolwork and on my career and such. And so I didn't really play a lot of games like this very often. I kind of focused in my free time, instead of playing games, I focused more on watching YouTube and stuff, and sometimes would play Minecraft. And the times I did play Minecraft, most likely I was recording it and it's been on this channel. So like when I played the Breakout mod pack on Minecraft, or when I played the Feed the Beast Ultimate Reloaded Minecraft mod pack, those were during that time where I was mainly just watching YouTube videos and just chilling, not necessarily playing video games quite as much, but in my free time I did do some of those. I did those during college, actually, and so yeah, that was mainly when I was doing that, was during college, and a little bit ago. But my story is a little different. So here's my solution. Hold on, I'll get back to that. This is my solution for the splitting 3 ways thing. It's very inelegant. It's not the best solution in the world, because obviously you see there's the issue, is the ore and the fuel are separated on both rows. So instead I just pull them both forward. Then I set filter splitters to split off the iron ore and the processed fuel. And then what I do is I take those and combine them back into one belt and then put them to each side of the belt. It's kind of dumb. I really should not have done it this way, but that's how I did it. And it's stayed that way for the next few videos because it works. And I'm not going to change it probably until it doesn't work. But anyway, back to what I was saying. My story is a little weird. So my dad is a computer programmer. He has been for his whole life since he was 9 years old, and he's 50 years old now. I didn't really want to get into that life. I wasn't really the kind to sit down at a desk all day and just type code. It just wasn't me. So, that's that. The other thing about it, oh shoot, I am just now realizing that belt is clogged up with fuel on that side, so we're not making as much iron as need be. And I never fixed that for the next 2 videos. So I will definitely fix that tomorrow when I record the next video, because that's a problem. We're not getting our full smelting capacity out of that. But anyway, so our inventory's full, we're going to empty it. But anyway, as I was saying, I didn't really want to get into programming. I want to do something else. So I did start a YouTube channel when, let's see, I created my account in 2010. I think I started recording in 2013. I started with Roblox, of all things. And a lot of people like Roblox. I started with that. It was, I was just typing in the chat using the in-game recorder at that point. That was when I think I created my Roblox account that year, but I don't play it anymore. That was when I bought Terraria. So just I wanted to mention that because I noticed that on my Steam achievements today, I was just going back through at Terraria playing a little bit, and I found out that even though my first world was created in November of 2013, because of the achievement system not being added till much later, I didn't actually get the build your first workbench achievement until 2020, which is very interesting to me. I kind of found that funny. But anyway, um, so I didn't want to be a programmer, and you'll notice here I go again, splitting off on another tangent, but I do that. So if you don't enjoy that or can't follow what I'm saying, then you might not want to watch this channel because I do. I split off on tangents all over the place, and finally get back. I talk in circles. So here we go again, back around the circle. I didn't want to be a programmer, so I went into heavy equipment mechanicery. That's my job now. I'm a heavy equipment mechanic. I work on for a Caterpillar dealership, fixing big machines. We just built in the game here. We just built a coal setup up here, and we set one of those laser turrets down there to keep it safe. Just building power lines. But yeah, so I didn't want to do that. I went into mechanics instead because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But originally, I was not in high school. I've never gone to high school. I dropped out of public school in 7th grade here. In 7th grade, and I never finished it. So I don't know. I went back for 1 year of high school, and I didn't really need it. I took my GED test, which is the equivalency diploma, is what it's called, and I didn't really need all the high school education to get it. I mean, I passed with after not going to high school, not going to school for like 4 or 5 years, I passed with like a 96 or something on the GED test, which is not common, but that's what I did. It was my first try taking it. I guess I'm just smart. I don't know. I'm not trying to brag. But anyway, don't take that to heart, anybody that's trying to take a GED test and can't get it. I have a very high capacity for my memory for educational purposes. I'm not very good at memory in social situations, but educationally, my memory is very, very good. I'm very good at remembering numbers. I'm very good at remembering like study materials and whatnot like that. So, yeah. But anyway, after that, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. But I found one of my family members who I was living with at the time. Worked for a Caterpillar company, not a dealership, but the actual Caterpillar company, Cat Financial. And he introduced me to what's called the Think Big program, which is where they have apprenticeships. Basically, they send you get to work at the at the dealership for 2 months, and then you also you go for 2 months down to school. So, I was transferred back and forth to school and whatnot. It was a 6.5-hour drive every 2 months, and I had to pick up all my stuff and go. But I got my degree there. I have an associate's degree in Unified Science and Technology for that. So, that's kind of a cool thing for me. But yeah, just continuing to fend off some biters. We're actually moving this coal setup, process fuel setup, to allow for us to put electric mining drills on the aluminum patch. But anyway, so that's where I'm at. I have a degree, but I enjoy my job. But my physical health is not the best, especially with these back issues I've been having recently. I've been out of work for almost 3 months now, and it's just been a pain, and I still am in pain at home. Not able to walk sometimes, not able to move, not able to do things that I'm supposed to do. And so it's tough for me to decide really what I want to do with my life and where I want to go next, because I really love my job and I'd like to go back to work at some point. But at the same time, I'm looking at it. I have a 4-month-old son here, and in 5-6 years, when or even in 10 years, when he gets to the age where he's wanting to run around and play with me, am I going to be able to do that? So I know you guys didn't sign up for this deep conversation here, but it's just been on my mind. But yeah, anyway, I also said I was going to post this. I'm just going to get off that subject. I said I was going to post a video about my computer setup. And so currently, I have my case. I'll start with the case because it's the easiest thing to describe here. My case is a Cougar Panzer Max Ultimate case. It's the main reason I bought it for was while I was in college. I could take it, especially since I was transporting it back and forth 6.5 hours by car every 2 months. I wanted something tough that was, not going to break anything, or it wasn't going to break. And I also wanted carrying handles, so that's what it has on top. And they can carry the whole case. They can actually carry more than the computer's weight. I think they can carry 75 pounds apiece. Which is a lot more than what it weighs. I mean, it probably weighs, 50 pounds, but it's a full tower. I've got a Corsair for my, well, I'm going to say that later. Let's see. I'm using just a cheap Amazon microphone. It was $30 a long time ago when I bought it. I don't know how much it is now. But we're setting up the aluminum mining patch here. But anyway, we're not doing anything too intense right now. Just building things, so I figure I can talk about this. I'm just using, I've got a Logitech, what's it called? A G413 Carbon, mechanical gaming keyboard here. And I've got I'm a weird guy. I use a Logitech M570 trackball mouse, instead of a regular mouse. Just because I've always used it. That's what my dad uses, and that's what I've got because he, a lot of my stuff was hand-me-downs from him, so that's what I got used to, and that's what I like to use. But anyway, I've got actually a quad monitor setup. I've got 3 Asus, I think they're MG24 monitors. They're each 1K monitors, slightly curved. I've got 3 of them actually up here on the left, set up in a upside down triangle pattern. And then my main monitor that I play on is an Asus VG28 4K monitor. So I'm actually playing all these games in 4K, and then it's downsizing it to 1080p when I post it to YouTube. Anyway, I've got, as far as my rig goes on my actual computer side here, I've got a motherboard is going to be an MSI Z270 PC Mate, or MSI Pro Series Z270 PC Mate. I've got some outdated tech because of some issues that I had trying to repair my old rig, and then finding out that the pieces that I had bought didn't fix the problem, and I ended up building a new rig basically. But because I'd already bought the old parts, I just kept the old parts, and now I've got, outdated tech, and I'm working on replacing it, but I don't have the funds after just having a baby and being out of work for 3 months, so I just don't have the funds to pay for it. Anyway, MSI Pro Series Z270 PC Mate motherboard. I've got a Intel i7-7700K CPU with a Corsair H110i Elite water cooling AIO there. It's a double 140mm fan set up on that. I've got the rest of my fans. I've got 2 140mm fans in the front, a 120mm fan in the back, and another 120mm fan on the bottom with the power supply. I've got a Cougar 1050 watt power supply, as well as a GeForce MSI GeForce GTX 1080 gaming 8 gig, I think, and 32 gigs of HyperX Fury RAM. I've got, actually, I'm just going to look at this because I can't tell you exactly my numbers here on this. So this case has double 5 1/4 inch bays on the front, as well as 8, I think, 2.5 inch bays and 2 3.5 inch bays. So my 5 1/4 inch bays are both populated, one with a Blu-ray drive for CD and stuff, another one with a double hot swappable hard drive bay that has a 2.5 inch slot and a 3.5 inch slot, both populated with drives. I've got a 3.5 inch 1 terabyte hard drive. I've got it's just a WD Blue, I think, We're fighting off some more biters here. Another wave here. I've got an SK Hynix Gold 1TB SSD where most of my Steam library is on and where my videos are recorded by OBS originally before being edited and put onto my other 3.5-inch drive, which is a 4TB Fire CUDA, which is a I don't think that's a Western Digital drive, but I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact branding. But then I've also got just a cheap, I think it's an old HP drive that I pulled out of somebody's computer because I do a computer repair on the side. And it's a 1TB, 2.5-inch hard drive that I've got sitting in my front 2.5-inch hot swappable slot. And then I use that mainly as backup. And then I've got a 2TB Crucial P5 Plus NVMe 3D NAND M.2 drive. That's my boot drive. That I used to have a Samsung 780 Pro SSD, 2.5-inch SSD, or it was an 870 or something, 780 or 871, and I just cloned it onto the 2TB drive to make it a little faster. I'm running Windows 10 Enterprise Edition actually, so that's something different about my computer. And I've got my headset. My headset's going to be a Philips headset here. It's just an open air driver headset that I bought. It's like an audiophile headset, but I only paid like $80 for it, so it's not a true audiophile headset. But anyway, and then last but not least, my chair is going to be a Blue Whale chair. It's so I'm a pretty hefty guy. I'm 6'4" and I weigh about 280 pounds. Trying to lose a little bit of that weight, but anyway, I really needed a chair that could support up to 300 pounds. And this was about the only chair that I could find that could support over 300 pounds because it's got a metal base on it instead of a plastic one. Because I've gone through a bunch of chairs that had plastic bases, and they all just were completely destroyed because I would lean back in them the wrong way or whatever. So I really needed a hefty chair, so that's what I've got. So it's a Blue Whale chair here. But yeah, it has the full reclining features and everything. It's kind of fun. My desk is a big old corner desk I just found on Amazon for like $50. Not 50, it was like 75. But anyway, that's about it for me. I don't have much else. It's all plugged into a big surge protector power strip underneath the desk that's then plugged into a GFCI outlet in the wall that I installed. So yeah, that's it. But that's my setup. I'm also, well, I guess I didn't mention my webcam for when I do record. It's just a cheap HD webcam I found on Amazon. I don't really know what brand it is, just a cheap webcam. Because we were recording. I have another channel with my wife called Faithful. It's a Christian channel there, and we record with it. So we wanted it to look relatively nice. So yeah, but that's about it. For my setup, I'm working on getting a new CPU and graphics card and everything. Although the graphics card does pretty well right now, so I'm going to start with the CPU and motherboard and RAM and everything, because you have to get those three things together most of the time. Because I'm changing. The problem is that with the series I'm at, the i7 7700K, you can't go from that to the next series up, the next generation, because it's the 7th gen processor, and in order to get 8th gen and above, you have to go to a different motherboard. So I'm stuck, and any 8th gen motherboards don't support. I haven't found one that supports the 7th gen processor, so I can't just replace the motherboard and then go to replace the processor after replacing both at the same time, or else it's not going to work. And if I'm going to replace the motherboard, I'm going to go ahead and get a motherboard that'll support the newest technology, which would be DDR5 RAM. And of course, I have DDR4 RAM, so I have to upgrade that to DDR5 RAM whenever I get it as well. So I have to replace, and then of course, I have to get a new CPU cooler, because the problem is that the mounting brackets are different between the two series, the different generations of Intel processors. So it's a big mess, a big ordeal to replace any of my components at the moment. But that's what I'm working on. Trying to save up the money for that. But yeah, so we're just continuing to build these smelting rays. I realize I haven't really been paying much attention to the video, but I know there's not a lot that goes on in this video other than biters attacking us, and us building the smelting arrays. So yeah, that's all we're dealing with right now is building the smelting arrays and the biters attacking us. So you notice I did that same setup of the belts on the input there, for the whatchamacallit, for the aluminum and the fuel, right? So that's gonna be fun to try and expand, because you've got to realize, right, that these designs have to eventually be expanded, because all we have supply for, as I've mentioned, is just enough for our 3 factory productions, our transporter belts, our inserters, and our electric mining drills. Other than that, we don't have any production for it. So even for picking up plates off the belts, can cost us to not have enough for our stuff. So anyway, we're gonna have to expand it at some point. We'll deal with that when we get there. Now I'm trying to figure out how am I gonna separate the fuel to get it pushed through to the next line and the silica out of the smelting array, because the problem is that the alumina smelters make silica as well, and I can't just put it, there's not an easy way to do it, so I have to splitter filter it. I eventually decide this is not a good design, and instead of well, no, that's the way I think I leave it, actually, with the 3 inputs. I swapped all the inserters around a little while ago. Okay, so right there was a cut, because the problem was we're about to go see something that happened. I accidentally paused the recording and then messed it up and didn't start recording again until the next day. But I did a few things and then got attacked, so I had to reload the save. So I'm going to admit that to you right now. I had to reload the save about 10 minutes in the past, because of the problems that we were having, that I was having, because I was trying to build the smelting rays, and then all of a sudden a bunch of biters start attacking me, but there's no waves going on, and I find out that they built a stinking nest right next to the stinking iron smelters. So we're about to go find that nest and destroy it, and keep them from doing that, because unless we do that, we are going to die, because they were destroying my whole base, that we built here, or our whole base. It's not just mine. But anyway, we're getting some more iron, and we're about to go and wreck some biters here. You can see it's right there. There's a nest right there, like, within. I mean, I don't know how Factorio's world is separated out, but it's not very far. I know it's separated by chunks. It's like, I'd say that's maybe, at the most 5-6 chunks, maybe 10. I don't know, but it's right there. It's close enough to where they're pretty well aggroing on the base whenever they spawn and coming towards the base to attack it. So, and actually later on in the next video, you'll see that a worm spawns right next to the base as well, but even closer than that. Like in the spot that I was building my factory, a worm spawns and starts firing on us. So, right now we're going to be walking around. I sped up the footage another up to 6 times again, because we're going to be walking around checking around the base, because I didn't do it, obviously I didn't do it good enough, to see is there any more expansion that has happened anywhere close to us. And we're going to be getting rid of those if we find them. We don't actually find any, thankfully, other than that one that we just did. We did find this oil refinery up here, so we take that, but then we're going to get right back around, down to the lower area down here. But yeah, there's another wave coming at us. I mean, they're non-stop, guys. That's the problem with the rampant mod. It's just non-stop attack and carnage. They're always on us. So that's one of our goals, is to build better defense for sure. But the problem is, and I think I mentioned this before, or I started to and I didn't finish it, is that in order to unlock grenades in Military 2, we actually have to have green logistics tech cards. And in order to do that, we have to have all these plastics and everything set up, and it's just going to take a lot of mess to do that. So, because we're going to want to automate it, obviously, as quickly as we can. So after we get these inserters and transport belts and electric mining drills automated, that's our next step, is to work on automating 3 types of tech cards that we can currently make. So we're still fighting off this wave here. But yeah, that's our next step, as well as building better defense for the waves to last us until we can automate all those. But anyway, we've got about 5-6 minutes left in the video here. But I do yeah. And our full inventory, that's just going to be even more of a problem the longer we go. So we're going to work on what we can here. But yeah, that doesn't get fixed until a long time from now, because I still haven't even fixed it in the next video I've recorded, and I recorded like an hour and a half, 2 hours on that too. So I look forward to another long video next time, about the same length, maybe a little bit less, a little bit longer, I don't know. It'll just depends on how it edits down. I've been trying to cut out some of the slower spots, or make it a little faster, not cut them out. But there were a couple times, and I'm going to admit it, there was a couple times where I've looked things up on the not the walkthrough, the internet, on how to do better things here. Like the smelting systems, I looked up, okay, what's the best way to set these furnaces up, and I just kind of did it based on what I had. And then I looked at, when I did the aluminum processing up there, I looked up that splitting, that triple splitting thing as well. The best way to split 3 things. And I'm actually, after I finish recording this voiceover, I'm going to look and see, is there any better way to do a triple split? Maybe there's a mod that I could download to add a triple splitter, because I think there was a long time ago, but I don't know if there is one now. But anyway, I'm completing my design here for the triple split, because the thing is, we have 4 outputs of alumina, but only 3 inputs into the aluminum plate furnaces. So I have to split this top row of alumina, into 3 different sections for the other inputs. But also, the problem is that I've still got to take the silica out somewhere, and I've got to deal with fuel going in each of these. So I've got 3 different items, 2 of them that have to go further along, and 1 of them that needs to be completely removed from the system. But then also an input, basically it acts like I have 4 different items instead of 3, because I have to combine the alumina input from this top row of furnaces with it. But anyway, we're now dealing with the silica outputs here. We're just going to stick them all onto the same side of the belt, because it's such a low chance of getting them. Of course, multiplied across this many furnaces, it's not a low chance, but 1 little chest with a inserter is enough to get it out here. So we're going to readjust that splitter up at the top. Once again, putting the filter in there, and readjusting this silica come out right there, and then going into a chest. Just needed some more iron plates here. Going right back up to the top up there. But the video is almost over, so we've got, I think, 3 minutes left of this video. We're about to start the last clip out of this video here. Here we are. It's nighttime. We're coming over here to just pick up some more iron, I think. Probably. Actually, put a belt balancer down to balance the iron output, because that was something important that I need to do. But yeah, just get rid of all these trees, or at least start to, and then something gets destroyed up here. And I'm like, what in the heck? What are they doing? And they destroy my belt balancer, so I have to make another one, and I place it back down. But yeah, I realize this video's kind of been just me talking about all kinds of stuff, not the game. But I hope that gives you a little bit of insight of where I come from and what I'm doing here, and what the setup is that I've got. It's a pretty decent setup for what I've got, but it's not, the best setup in the world. But yeah, I mean, it's here. It works. It does what I need to do for now. I'm running out of space on a lot of my storage. I've got, one of my drives has 12 gigs free. That's my SSD, my SK Hynix Gold. My boot drive, my 2 terabyte drive has 1 terabyte free. Another one of my drives has 688 gigs free. Another one has 786 gigs free. But those are both 5400 RPM hard drives, which is terribly slow. And then, of course, my 4 terabyte drive has tons, but it's a hard drive, not an SSD, so I can't use it for recording videos onto it all that well. But anyway, I'm working on getting better storage. I'm working on getting better computer components. So look forward to that in the future. A little bit better video quality, hopefully. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like I always say, like, subscribe, leave a comment for any improvements you might see that I could make. Whatever else you feel is necessary. So yeah, so this actually I'll lead right into the next video here after I destroy our assemblers here, because I copied that, and of course it doesn't save after you exit the game. But yeah, I go right in the next video. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell, get notified of any new uploads. But for now, this is me signing off, and I've been producing videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later, producers.